Welcome to Coffee with Viking. I am Mike. Cheers. The northern Jewish nation falls. 2 Kings 17:23. Israel was exiled from their land to Assyria. God lets the northern Jewish nation of Israel survive about 200 years. That seems patient of him, since the Jews worshipped idols throughout that time, and not one of their kings is described as good. God's ancient contract with the Jewish people warned that he would punish them for a breach of contract. Deuteronomy 28:49. The Lord will bring a distant nation against you from the end of the earth, and exile you and your king to a nation unknown to you. During Israel's 2 centuries of disobedience, the Assyrian Empire had been expanding beyond its base in what is now Iraq to feed its voracious appetite for power. It involved neighboring countries and forced them to pay heavy annual taxes. The Jewish nations of Israel and Judah both compiled, but in a stab for freedom and sovereignty. Israel's king Hoshea stops the payments. The Assyrian king Shalmaneser invades. He surrounds Israel's capital city of Samaria and stays there for 3 years until Israel's king surrenders in 722 BC. Assyrians round up all the Jews they can find and then march them off into exile to cities scattered throughout what is now Iraq. Then the Assyrians send their own pioneers into Israel to resettle the land. Some Jews escape the exile and remain in their homeland, but many end up intermarrying with the foreign pioneers. This mingling of cultures will in time produce a race of people called Samaritans. Many Jews in Jesus' day will hate them, calling them racial half-breeds and spiritual heretics who teach a distorted faith based on a condensed and edited version of the Jewish Bible. Samaritans revere only the first 5 books of the Bible. Prophets had predicted Israel would fall, and afterward other prophets begin pointing to the collapse of Israel as a wake-up call for Judah, warning that the same thing will happen to the southern Jews unless they honor their agreement to serve God. It's a wake-up call that most southern Jews decide to sleep through. And on these side notes here, how to treat a Jewish captive. Assyrian soldiers impaled Jewish prisoners of war. Assyrians had captured them after conquering the city of Lachish near Jerusalem in 701 BC. Vicious Assyrians. Ancient Middle Eastern terrorists, the Assyrians, based in what is now Iraq, considered scenes of terror suitable for framing on their palace walls. The stone carving at left is from their palace in Nineveh, the capital city. Also etched the stone is an Assyrian king's brag after capturing a city in the 800s BC. Their men, young and old, I took as prisoners. Of some I cut off the feet and hands, of others I cut off their nose noses, ears, and lips. Of the young men's ears I made a mound. Of the old men's heads I built a minaret tower. Rebels got no respect from Assyrians. Instead, they got themselves dead in creative ways. One style of execution that Assyrian soldiers enjoyed was to slice open a captive's abdomen, stuff a wild cat inside, quickly sew up the abdomen, and then back away, watching the animal claw itself out. Terror, the Assyrians figured, was a great inhabitor, so they used it to keep enemies in their place. Serving Assyria. And here's a picture of that stone wall. Stay blessed. Stay caffeinated. Much love.